A spirited press conference yesterday. Did you anticipate that going in with Amanda, the back and forth you two had?
I just don't understand all the hostility. I mean,
You're so sweet. Not like you ever said nothing.
Was it something I said? I don't understand what's going on. I struck a chord, I think. I don't know.
Well, I love it. You've played this to perfection. You've talked about wanting to get the title shot. You have the title shot. You've been in camp for, what, a year?
Pretty much.
Training for a fight. Is there one particular area that you've kind of honed in on that you think, if I can do this, then I can get this done?
If I can get the fight and get her to the fight, then I can get this done. That's kind of been my mentality.
That was the big thing.
Get to the fight. Yes, get to the fight week. Get to the fight.
And you're here.
Yes.
I've seen you around the hotel, and I actually ran into your mom this morning as I was coming out, and I've seen your daughter Issa running around, and it struck me. What does it mean to you to have? I mean, it's so cool. There's Issa. Got that Nutella life. What does it mean to you to have, three generations of strong, confident women? And I asked your mom that this morning. I said, are you where she gets all this confidence from? And she goes, yeah, I think so. What's it mean to you to have, the mom, you, and Issa all here for Fight Week?
There's no two other girls that I would rather have riding by my side. My mom means so much to me. She gives me so much strength. She gives me so much of my personality, my tenacity, and just, never backing down and never taking no for an answer. And my daughter, of course, she's got her own personality. My goodness, she's 3 going on 13, and she's definitely going to be a big force and personality in her own life. So I think it's awesome to be surrounded by, strong women.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head earlier, I think, when you were talking about how so many people, when they fight Amanda, are beaten before they even come to Fight Week, honestly.
Right.
And for you, I genuinely do not get the sense that you're overwhelmed by this moment whatsoever. When I watched your interview that you did with Brett, you were saying, I'm capable of accomplishing anything in this world. The world is my oyster. And that belief from you feels so incredibly genuine and real. Did you teach yourself how to have that self-talk, or is that something that you developed as you matured? Where did you find that ability to talk to yourself in that way?
It's definitely something that I've developed over the years and growing as a fighter. Negative talk and negative self-talk, it doesn't serve me in any way. It doesn't help me in any way. And, when you have gotten in there with the best of the best, literally, I have fought in former world champion after world champion. Everybody that I have fought in this division has been cream of the crop, top of the top. They're the best of the best, you know what I mean? So I'm confident I can get in the cage and get locked in a fist fight with anybody that walks in 135 pounds. It doesn't matter to me. I'm ready to go. I've put in the work, and I trust in the process. I trust in the ability, and I trust in what I can do. And, it would be not right to think that I couldn't do it, you know what I mean? Why would I be here? Why would I waste everybody's time, It doesn't serve me to, be negative or be talking doubtful. I can do this, and I know that I can.
Yeah.
Julianna, the other day we were on a fighter meeting, and you asked me a question about being the underdog in these fights, right? And it really did, it stood out to me because I wonder what makes you ask that type of question. It seems like you're so open to advice in the biggest moment of your career. Where does that come from? Because a lot of people try to hide that, right? If you have something you don't want to, if it's viewed as weakness, like, oh, why are you asking so much? Like, where'd that come from for you to just say, you know what? I want to take in all the information.
Well, first, it seemed like more of an icebreaker because I know that you guys have to do these interviews with 1,000 fighters. You guys look like really tired and annoyed, and I can see you guys' eyes rolling, and you're like, get to the next, you know what I mean? So I was just like, let's just see what he has to say and flip it around on you and see what your advice is. I think that it's great to be able to look at the greats that have come before you, and anytime you can get them to give you a bit of information, that to me is gold. And I just wanted to get your advice because you've fought for a title 11 times. Have you not, DC?
I was lucky.
Yeah, 11 title fights. So of course, you have the answers.
When you look at Amanda and you look at someone that has done the things that she has done over the course of her career, you made a beeline towards her. There was no question as to whether or not you wanted this fight. When it's finally happening tonight, what are you thinking in your mind 24 hours before you can become the UFC champion, when you've been here as long as you've been?
Si se puede. I can do it. I can
love
do
that.
it. I can do it. I know that I can do it. And I'm the type of fighter where I see fire and I go right into it. I'm the type of fighter where I meet pressure with pressure. Most of these people, they see the punch coming and they come and they turn away. I'm the type of fighter that meets fire with fire and I come in head on. And there's only a specific type of fighter that can do that. I'm not going to be dancing around the ring for 25 minutes. I can guarantee you that. I'm coming forward and I'm meeting fire with fire. And there's only a specific type of fighter that can match that pressure. And that type of fighter is me. So this is a perfect fight for me.
So are you taking anything from like prior people watching? Because like we see this, right? Julianna, you see Lauren Murphy with Valentina. You see certain athletes go into these fights with these massive favorites and they just can't pull the trigger. You try to take something from those mistakes that other women have made in those big moments and apply it to your game as you approach this fight this weekend?
Not necessarily. You know, I didn't get here off of the failures of other fighters and seeing how they failed. You know, I got here on the success of my own hard work and what I've done and the successes that I have had in this career. I've only dropped 2 fights in the last 10 years. And they were to former world champions that I had dead in the water. I made simple mistakes that I have fixed, and I'm going to execute on Saturday night. And that's the difference. I made those mistakes back then. I got that learning experience, and now is my time to pull that trigger and to execute.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a question, but as an athlete, it's awesome to see you facing a challenge like this. I fought Khabib, you know, one of the GOATs, my last fight, and not often do we get opportunities to do this. And to see you facing it head on and really accepting that challenge is all I want to see as an athlete, and I can't wait to watch tomorrow.
Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm thinking the whole time you're talking about fighting fire with fire.
I know,
I'm sitting here looking at
thinking the
Gaethje.
same
I'm like,
thing.
this is a guy who does exactly that.
Right.
Is there a question you might have for Justin about how he approaches these situations to make him more comfortable?
It wouldn't necessarily be for Justin, but more so his training partner, Rose. Rose was in a similar situation. She had, you know, the chip stacked against her a few times in her title fights, and she was able to get that done. I look at her as inspiration, and I look at her thinking, like, you know, I look at those women that have been able to pull those triggers and look at their success and think, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
And that to me is like such an inspiring thing. And you being right next to Rose is probably pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I can tell you, first and foremost, the biggest factor is self-belief. You have to believe that you deserve this.
She has that.
Yes, she
I know
does.
that. I know that. And so I have no doubt that tomorrow night is, you know, she's going to give 100%. But being around, you know, Rose is the only one to lose a belt, come back, win a belt. There's instances where we get to be great, and tomorrow you get that chance. You've done it in the past, and I think it's just embracing the moment, believing in yourself, believing that you're worthy.
Absolutely.
And that's where you're at.
I am absolutely worthy. I have sacrificed so much to become who I am to this day, and I'm more than worthy, and I'm more than ready.
I'm sure your family is very proud.
Thank you.
The sacrifice has a chance to pay dividends tomorrow. I'm just curious, as a non-fighter, when you are making that walk into the octagon, what are the thoughts that are running through your head tomorrow?
I've had these conversations before, and I screwed up. I was like, I'm a killer, I'm a serial killer. And then they're like, you can't say that. That sounds horrible. You're not a serial killer. You're not a serial killer. Just quit saying that.
You have to think like
Twice a
one.
year, twice a year.
Yeah. So let me rephrase that. I am feeling in a very scary place in my head where I'm liable to do some pretty scary things. And, you know, it's kill or be killed. And this person is not going to have any remorse for me, so I should not have any remorse for them. I have made peace with the fact that I am going to live or die, and I have made peace with that. So I fear nothing. You know, when you are fearful of that and fearful of dying, then that's when you get in a situation where you're not going to be very comfortable. I've already made peace with the fact that I'm going to die in there. I've made peace with the fact that I'm going to live in there. And when you make peace with that, there's nothing to be afraid of and there's nothing to fear. So I just get into this position in my mind where I'm ready to kill or be killed. And that's just my mindset. It's just a very dark, scary place. But it's also a good place, you know what I mean? It's like a comfortable place. It's only a place.
It's honestly where you got to go to win a title, man.
It's only a place that fighters understand. You know, 99.9% of people can walk this line, and that's us, you know? That's a special type of person that can do that, and that's why we're fighters, and, you know, everybody else is everybody else. It takes a special breed to do what we do to get locked inside the octagon. And then she said, you're delusional. I was like, yeah, I fist fight in a cage for money. You're delusional too, you know? That's not calling the kettle black, you know?
Well, we are looking forward to that. Best of luck.
Thank you.
The time has arrived, and you're one step away. So good luck tomorrow. Very much looking forward to seeing you
Thanks,
fight.
guys. I appreciate the time.
All right,
Thank you so
Julianna
much.
Peña.